Hi and welcome back. We've got our 2 products, 5 apples and 8 bananas that we're adding into our shopping cart, and we're verifying that in fact we've got 5 apples and 8 bananas in a shopping cart with these verify cart item helper methods. However, it would also be nice if we could verify the total amount that we would be charged if we took the shopping cart through the checkout. So the total amount. And that's being expressed in our shopping cart through the total property. Okay, and at the moment we're only subtotaling the first item. Alright, so what we can do is, if we have a look at the test above the current one where we're adding a single item, we've got a verify cart method. Why don't we use that down here? Okay, and this verify cart method takes our shopping cart and verifies against that. The second argument is the number of items in the cart, so we would want that to be 2. And the next argument here, the next parameter, must be the total. So how do we calculate that? What would we want the total to be? It's the sum of all the subtotals, and the subtotals are the quantity multiplied by the unit price. So in our case, we've got 5 multiplied by the unit price of the apple, 0.35, plus the 8 bananas, and bananas come in at 75 cents each. So we can either do it like that, or we can actually work it out. 5 times 35 is $1.75, and 8 times 75 is $6. We could type in 775 as the argument. However, I quite like to spell it out this way. This way it's clearer what we're talking about. All right, let's go, and just going to remove a line here. Let's see what happens when I run all the unit tests. Okay. Our unit test here for 2 products is failing. Expected cart total to be 775, but found 175. And 175, I believe, is the total for the 5 apples. 5 times 35 makes 175. That makes sense, because when we go to the shopping cart, we do in fact take the subtotal of the first item. What we really want here is, when we've got items, we want to use the sum of all the subtotals. How do we do this? It would be good if we could maybe use some sort of private method here that calculates in a loop, sums over all the subtotals. So let me just add that here below the add method. Private decimal calc total. And no parameters needed, I would say. We'll specify a total bar total. In order to make a decimal, we will need to initialize it like that. And then we say for each item in items, and then we'll just add to the total plus equals item dot subtotal. And then we just return the total. So good, so this is what we've got here. I don't like to use braces. Braces turn a one-liner inside the for each loop here into sort of 3 lines. And we could have done this, definitely could have done that, but it really doesn't add anything. When it's just a single line, you can just kind of do that. We'll give it a bit of space to show that it's a return here. But this for each kind of keeps on adding the subtotals for all the items. That looks really good. And maybe we can use this up here when we've got items. I think that ought to work. So when we've got one item, we sum the subtotal over the one item. So it should work for our unit test where we've got a single product. And now that we've got 2 products added to our shopping cart, apples and bananas, we ought to subtotal for each of those shopping cart items. All right, so let me run. Let me go back to the unit test and run the tests. The test is passing. Let's do a little bit of refactoring in the next video. All right, see you shortly.